This man has defied death, not just once, or twice, but 6 times.
Mtu bwana, mimi mpaka namuogopa. Sisi sote.
His story is extraordinary and bewildering, capturing the attention of those around him.
Baadhi ya watu wana kauli ambayo ya kusema kama bwana yule anaweza kuwa ni mchawi mkubwa sana wa hapa.
Imagine coming back to life after being pronounced dead. Many have witnessed him rise from the dead, each time leaving friends and family in shock. One day, in an extreme act of desperation, people convinced he was a problem even went so far as to burn him alive, thinking that would finally end his life. Miraculously, he survived that too.
Lakini sio kuja kuzika. Kama sisi tunakuja kuzika hapa nashangaa.
I was there to witness it all. On the day we gathered to bury him, something unbelievable happened. Just as the funeral ceremony was about to begin, he emerged from the coffin, startling everyone present. This was not an isolated incident. He has repeatedly returned to life after serious accidents, illnesses, and other tragic events. Each time, his family and friends assembled for his funeral, only for him to rise again at the moment of burial. With each return to life, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was fundamentally wrong with my existence. Every time I came back, my body felt different. The experience left me questioning my own identity. In a region rife with superstition, people began to treat me as if I were a witch, an otherworldly being defying the natural order. Is he immortal? Does he possess special powers? These questions prompted me to travel all the way to Tanzania, seeking answers and clarity. My name is Isma Azi, and I am 40 years old. I reside in Ukal, Tanzania, where I was born and raised. Life hasn't been easy for me. Growing up in a poor family, I faced numerous hardships. My family struggled to make ends meet, and this poverty hindered my ability to pursue further education, thus limiting my opportunities for a better life. Despite my dreams of becoming something greater, the challenges I faced seemed insurmountable. Navigating life has been difficult, especially without the support of family. I learned to fend for myself from a young age, as my parents and siblings had limited resources to provide. The world felt heavy on my shoulders, and I realized that I had to work hard just to survive. Each day brought new challenges, and as I grew older, these challenges only intensified. One particularly harrowing experience stands out in my memory. While at work, I suffered a severe accident that left everyone convinced my life was over. Rushed to the hospital in critical condition, doctors examined me and, after a thorough assessment, declared me dead. My family was devastated, believing they had lost me forever. They accepted my fate and prepared for my burial. But as I lay in the morgue, I experienced a strange sensation. I woke up feeling cold and disoriented. To my shock, I realized I was alive. When I sat up, I found my family and friends staring at me in disbelief. The expressions on their faces were a mix of joy and horror. They had just come to terms with my death, and yet here I was, alive again. The news of my miraculous return spread quickly. It was both a blessing and a curse. While my family rejoiced at seeing me alive, the wider community was filled with fear and confusion. Many had begun to believe I was not human anymore but rather a ghost. I became a subject of local legend, and the stories about me grew more fantastical with each telling. Days turned into weeks, and as life resumed, I found it increasingly challenging to reintegrate into society. People would look at me with suspicion, whispering behind my back. They were unsure how to interact with someone who had died and come back to life. Their fear of the unknown was palpable. The second time I died was due to a severe case of malaria. I had been suffering at home, but no one seemed to notice my deteriorating condition until it was too late. When my family finally took me to the doctor, my illness had progressed significantly, and I was again declared dead. This time, however, the story was different. As they prepared me for burial, I awoke once more, surprising everyone in the room. My family struggled to comprehend the situation. This was the second time I had come back from the dead, and the disbelief was overwhelming. They called the doctors to verify my miraculous return, and even they were astonished. The reality of my situation left everyone questioning what was possible. As rumors spread, I began to sense a shift in how people viewed me. The presence of witches in our community added to the tension. Many began to treat me as if I were a witch myself, believing I had some control over life and death. I found this label unsettling, as I had no idea why this was happening to me.
Mimi naitwa Almasi Pazi.
My name is Almani, and I know Isma well. His experiences are frightening, and I've witnessed his miraculous returns to life firsthand. It's hard to shake the fear that comes with witnessing something so extraordinary. One time, we had gathered to bury him, but just before the ceremony started, he came out of the coffin, sending everyone into a panic. The third time I faced death happened during a terrible car accident. I fell into a coma, and the doctors grew increasingly concerned about my case. The fear of me returning to life had become almost palpable among the medical staff. When I finally regained consciousness, I realized I had once again defied the odds. Life continued after that, but my experiences left me feeling increasingly isolated. The fear that surrounded me made it difficult to forge connections with others. Many treated me as an outcast. I had become something of a local curiosity, someone whose very existence challenged the boundaries of life and death. The following year brought more trials. While farming, I was bitten by a snake. In a desperate state, I sought medical help only after the poison had spread throughout my body. It didn't take long for me to die again. My family, believing they had lost me for good, gathered to prepare for my burial. After spending 3 days in the morgue, longer than I had ever been dead before, they came to retrieve my body, only to find me alive yet again. This shocking revelation marked the 5th time I had died. The community's perception of me had shifted dramatically. Some saw me as a sorcerer, while others believed I was under divine protection. But for many, I was still a source of fear. They began to think I was cursed, and some even considered me a threat to their safety. Eventually, the burden of these experiences grew heavier. Each time I returned to life, I felt more out of place, more misunderstood. I sensed that people believed I was not just different but dangerous. The last incident was particularly harrowing. People came to my home, claiming I was a witch, and set my house on fire. Trapped inside, I lost consciousness from the smoke, yet somehow, I woke up again in the hospital morgue. By this time, my family was increasingly convinced that I was no ordinary person. They began to speak of me in reverent tones, suggesting that I could not die unless God willed it. My grandfather had a similar tale. He too had died and come back to life, adding another layer of complexity to my story. Now, I live alone in a small house, grappling with the challenges of daily life. Each day feels like a struggle, but I continue to persevere. Is my supposed immortality a burden for others, or is it merely a perception shaped by fear? Despite the stigma I carry, I strive to treat those around me with kindness and compassion. In many ways, we are all unique in our struggles, navigating life in our own ways. Instead of fearing what we don't understand, we should aim to treat one another with respect and empathy. Life is filled with uncertainties, and sometimes what happens is beyond our control. I remain grateful for the gift of life, even if it comes with complications. I believe that my experiences, however strange, have given me a deeper understanding of human nature. People often fear what they cannot comprehend, and in my case, this fear has led to isolation. In closing, I encourage others to consider their actions and thoughts. Before you mistreat someone, ask yourself what it might feel like to walk in their shoes. We are all in this together, and kindness can make a significant difference in how we navigate life's challenges. Thank you for watching. This is GCNews Hub. Don't forget to subscribe.